Good evening and welcome to the virtual public information meeting for State Project 48-202. My name is John Wengel, the Connecticut Liaison Engineer Project Manager for this project. The project includes the replacement of bridge number 01274, which carries Pleasant Road over I-91, and the replacement of bridge number 01275, which carries Route 510, also known as Depot Hill Road over I-91. Following the presentation, please join us for a question and answer session. After the meeting, questions will also be received at the project email and by phone. The contact information shown here will be posted in the Zoom chat. The agenda for today's meeting will include some housekeeping information, the introduction of the project team, followed by the formal presentation where existing conditions, purpose and needs, and the proposed replacements will be presented. After the presentation, we have a question and answer session. No person shall, on the basis of race, color, or national origin, be excluded from participation or subject to discrimination in the development of this project. For more information, please visit the websites noted here. These websites will be added into the Zoom chat. The Connecticut Department of Transportation operates its programs and services without regard to race, color, and national origin in accordance with the Title V of the Civil Rights Act. Any person who believes she or he has been aggrieved by any unlawful discriminatory practice under the Title V may file a complaint with the Connecticut Department of Transportation. Please take a moment to review this slide for more information. Closed captioning, including non-English translation options, are available on YouTube after the event. To select an option, please click the Show Captions button to select a speaking language from the list. To submit questions at the end of the presentation, please select the Q&A button at the bottom of the Zoom webinar window. The Q&A window will open and will allow you to enter your question into the text box. If you are an audio-only participant, please dial *9 to raise and lower your hand. As mentioned earlier, questions will be received by email and voicemail after tonight's meeting. Please reference project number 48-202 in your email or voice message. The comment period will be open until November 20th. Project information presented on this slide will be added to our Zoom chat. The project team from the Connecticut Department of Transportation includes Mr. Gregory Funk, the Transportation Principal Engineer, Mr. Francisco Fandul, Transportation Supervising Engineer, and Mr. Isu Flashi, Project Engineer, as well as Ms. Kathleen Erickson, the Project Coordinator from the Office of Rights Away. From Jacobs Engineering Group, the designers of the project, we have the Project Manager of Bridges, Mr. Brian Chamberlain, and the New England Structures Group Leader, Mr. Donald Costello. From Clough Harbor Associates, the Connecticut Liaison Engineers, we have Mr. Donald Wurst, the Program Manager, and myself, Mr. John Wengel, the Project Manager. I would like to introduce Ms. Kathleen Erickson to present the right-of-way portion of tonight's presentation.
Right, thank you, John. So again, my name is Kathleen Erickson, and I'm a project coordinator with the department's Division of Rights of Way. Our office is responsible for acquiring property rights that are needed for transportation projects all throughout the state. So I'll just be giving you a brief overview of what the right-of-way acquisition process looks like. Before I get further into that, though, I do want to say that the property impacts for this project are still being finalized, so they could change as the design progresses. Also, any property rights that are acquired are done so in accordance with Connecticut General Statutes, Sections 13A-73 and 13A-98E, as well as the Uniform Act. And next slide, please. So the right-of-way acquisition process begins once the project reaches a development milestone and all of the property impacts have been determined. At that point, each affected property owner will receive from our office a formal letter of intent to acquire, as well as a property map depicting the exact property rights to be acquired. You can see on the screen here just a sample of what property maps look like. Next, our office will determine the fair market value of those property rights, which will be used to create an offer of just compensation. The property owner will receive the offer in writing, and a right-of-way agent will be available to meet with them to discuss the project, their specific property impacts, and the offer itself. The property owner will be given a reasonable amount of time to consider the state's offer and to enter into negotiations. And then once an agreement has been reached, the department will prepare all the necessary documents in order to record the deed and the property map on the town land records. Now, if an agreement cannot be reached, in order to maintain the project schedule, the department may acquire the necessary property rights through its power of eminent domain. If that were to happen, the state would file a notice of condemnation with the Superior Court, along with a monetary deposit in the amount of the state's offer. The property owner would then have 6 months to file an appeal if they felt the state's offer was inadequate. Now, whether or not the owner chooses to appeal, the money that was deposited in the court is available to be withdrawn by the owner at any time. It is important to note too, the state will only be acquiring property rights that are necessary for the project. But if there are any questions regarding the right-of-way acquisition process, I'm happy to answer them during the Q&A portion of tonight's meeting. But for now, I'm going to turn it back over to John to continue.
Thank you, Kathleen. Before we move on to the project presentation, I would like to provide the following information to the attendees. Here you will see the town location plan. The town of Enfield is in north central portion of the state and within District 1. Bridge 01274 and Bridge 01275 are located in the southwestern portion of town along the I-91 corridor. This slide presents the main structural elements of a typical bridge. You will hear them discussed in the upcoming presentation. The substructure elements shown here represent the abutment to the left and the pier to the right. The substructure foundation is the foundation of the bridge, which supports elements above. The superstructure helps supports the span between the substructure elements and allows the deck to be installed in traffic to cross over a roadway or watercourse. This slide exhibits different types of concrete deterioration, which will be discussed in the existing conditions portions of this presentation. Please take a few seconds to review these pictures. Now I'd like to introduce Mr. Donald Costello from Jacobs Engineering to present the technical portion of this project. Mr. Costello?
Thank you, John. We're looking at bridge number 1274 in the aerial plan view and elevation view. Next slide, please. Just going to go over the project purpose and need. The purpose of this project is to address structural deficiencies of the bridge supporting Pleasant Road over I-91. The needs of the project include improving the load rating factor to achieve a minimum of a 1.0 for all legal loads. Eliminate the National Bridge Inventory Condition rating of 4 or number 4. Eliminate the appraisal rating of 3 for a deficient vertical underclearance. And generally improve the condition of the structure to assure a long service life. Next slide, please. Project need is to raise the bridge to an NBI rating of at least a satisfactory of a 6. So what is a condition rating? It's a judgment of a bridge component condition in comparison to its original as-built condition. We use these ratings to provide an overall characterization of the condition of the bridge component being rated. Next slide. A little bit about the existing field conditions. We're looking at photos of the approach roadway conditions. As you can see, the rated items include guide railing and pavement, and with condition ratings here of ranging from fair to good. Next slide. Here we have the existing conditions of the deck, some typical photos. The bridge was built in 1959. That puts it at 66 years old, roughly, and had its last major reconstruction in 1995. So this slide is showing photos of the typical condition of the bridge deck and a summary of condition ratings that are related to the deck, which range from fair to very good. Here we have the existing conditions of the superstructure, showing photos typical of the steel girders supporting the concrete deck and a summary of condition ratings that are related to the girders and bearing, which range from poor to good. Next slide. Here we're looking at typical photos of the existing bridge substructure, which includes the support concrete abutments and the supporting concrete piers. There is also a summary of condition ratings for these components, which range from satisfactory to good condition. Next, we have our proposed bridge reconstruction, which is a proposed full bridge replacement. We're going to replace it with a new concrete bridge abutments and piers supported on pile foundations, new steel girder superstructure with a concrete deck. On the approaches to the bridge, we will install new MASH compliant approach guide railing, and the roadways will be reconstructed with a new full depth pavement to accommodate a slight raise of the roadway profile. The reconstruction and raising the profile will allow the new design to achieve standard vertical clearance for an interstate roadway of 16 feet 3 inches. The new bridge will be designed to achieve a service life of 75 years. This is our proposed roadway reconstruction plan for the project. Let me describe our color scheme that is shown, which includes pavement reconstruction, which is yellow, filled side slopes, which are shown in green. The bridge and barrier elements are shown in orange, and the right-of-way lines are shown in red. The roadway will be reconstructed for approximately 300 feet to the west of the bridge and will extend approximately 250 feet east of the bridge. The side slopes will be filled slightly to accommodate raising the road profile for increasing the vertical clearance. Some of this filled embankment will extend beyond the available right-of-way, as illustrated by the green area that extends beyond the red lines. Reconstruction of I-91 below the bridge will be limited to the left and right shoulders adjacent to the bridge. Next slide. This is a zoomed in view of the bridge reconstruction plan. The color scheme here again depicts the bridge and retaining walls in orange, the roadway in yellow. The existing bridge is a 4-span structure, which includes 2 short end spans and then 2 main spans over I-91, which are supported by 2 concrete abutments and 3 concrete piers. The proposed bridge is a 2-span structure supported by 2 concrete abutments and 1 concrete pier. The span arrangement has been established to allow for future widening of I-91 should that need arise in the future. Next slide. This is a view of the elevation of the bridge. The color scheme here includes the bridge abutments and pier that are colored orange. The blue is support structures that are below the finished grade. Hence, they will not be visible when the bridge's construction is complete. Note that the minimum vertical clearance occurs on the west end of the bridge at the I-91 southbound shoulder. Another item to note is that the traffic signs and VMS signboard, or the variable message signboard, that are mounted to the southbound fascia will all be moved off the new bridge and onto new supporting structures. Next slide, please. This is a cross-section view of the proposed bridge. Please note that the overall width is 10 inches wider than the existing bridge. This was increased to accommodate a bicycle lane in each direction in accordance with the department's Complete Streets initiative. There will be a sidewalk on both sides of the bridge as there is today. No sidewalks will be constructed beyond the bridge for this project. Next slide, please. This plan shows the impacted area of adjacent private properties. The right-of-way process was described at the start of the presentation, and affected property owners will be contacted by the department as the design develops. Next slide, please. Now we'll move on to a bridge number 01275, which is Route 510 over I-91, also known as Depot Hill Road. Purpose and need of this project. The purpose of the project is, again, to address structural deficiencies of the bridge and to accommodate safe travel for all facility users on and below the bridge. The need for the project arises from the general condition of the structure, which is in fair condition, but could easily be downgraded to poor condition as soon as the next inspection due to the condition of the steel girders. There's a need to increase the vertical underclearance and generally improve the condition of the structure to prevent future deterioration and maintain a safe structure for the future. Next slide, please. slide is showing photos of the approach roadway conditions. As you can see, rated items include guide rail and pavement with condition ratings of satisfactory. Slide. This is the bridge deck. This bridge was also built in 1959 and last reconstructed in 1990. This slide is showing photos of typical condition of the bridge deck and summary condition ratings related to the deck, which range from satisfactory to good. Next slide. This slide is showing photos of the typical condition of the steel girders supporting the concrete deck and summary of condition ratings that are related to the girders and bearings, which range from fair to satisfactory. This slide is showing typical photos of the bridge substructure, including the concrete abutments and the concrete piers. There's also a summary of condition ratings for these components, which range from fair to good condition. For this project, we are proposing to reconstruct this bridge with a complete replacement, including new concrete bridge abutments and pier supported on spread footing foundations and a new steel girder superstructure with a concrete deck. On the approaches to the bridge, we'll install new MASH compliant approach guide railing, and the roadways will be reconstructed with a new full depth pavement to accommodate a slight raise of the roadway profile. The reconstruction and raising the profile will allow the new design to achieve the standard vertical clearance for an interstate roadway of 16 feet 3 inches. And again, the new bridge will be designed to achieve a service life of 75 years. Next slide. This is our proposed railway reconstruction plan. Once again, the color scheme includes pavement reconstruction in yellow, filled slide slopes are green, bridge and barrier elements are shown in orange, and right-of-way lines are shown in red. The roadway will be reconstructed for approximately 375 feet to the west of the bridge and will extend approximately 275 feet to the east of the bridge. The side slopes will be filled slightly to accommodate raising the roadway profile for increasing the vertical clearance. For this bridge, the filled embankment will stay within the available right-of-way, as illustrated by the green area that stays between the red lines. Reconstruction of I-91 below the bridge will be limited to the left and right shoulders adjacent to the bridge. Next slide. This is a zoomed in view of the bridge reconstruction. Again, color here depicts bridge and retaining walls in orange, the roadway reconstruction in yellow. The existing bridge is a 4-span structure with short end spans and main spans over I-91. It is supported with 2 abutments and 3 concrete piers. The proposed bridge is a 2-span structure supported by 2 concrete abutments and 1 concrete pier. Span arrangement has been established to allow for a future widening of I-91 should the need arise in the future. Next slide. Again, we have an elevation view of the proposed bridge. Color scheme here includes the abutments are orange. The blue is the support structure below grade, and the below grade obviously will not be visible once the bridge is complete. And note that the minimum vertical clearance occurs at the west end of the bridge at the I-91 southbound shoulder, similar to the previous bridge that we looked at. Next slide. This is a cross-section view of the proposed bridge. Note that the overall width is actually 14 inches narrower than the existing bridge. The typical section includes bicycle lane in each direction, a little bit wider bicycle lane here, and the travel lanes are wider on this bridge compared to Bridge 1274. Again, there's a sidewalk on both sides as there is today. No sidewalks will be constructed beyond the bridge. As part of this project, there's currently a plan to include lane striping for the bike lanes along the roadway, extending to where the current width will accommodate the lanes. Then it will be terminated. Next slide, please. This plan shows that there are no impacted areas on adjacent private properties. Next slide, please. Okay, allow me to orient you to what is shown here. First, the north-south orientation goes across the page, with north being to the right. Our 2 bridge locations are labeled in blue, and the construction site for each bridge is shown in the gray crosshatch. During reconstruction of these bridges, we are proposing to close both roads to through traffic and detour local traffic around the sites. So the detour for Pleasant Road is depicted by the blue lines and extends along Pleasant Road to Route 510 to the west, then easterly along Route 140, then northerly along Route 5. The detour for Depot Hill Road is depicted by the orange lines and extends along Route 510 to the west, easterly along Route 40, then northerly along Route 5. There are 2 primary advantages for closing the roads for the bridge reconstruction. That includes speed of construction. The contractor can work much faster if he does not need to maintain existing traffic on the bridge. And the work can be completed in a single stage of construction versus building half the bridge, then shifting traffic to build the remainder of the bridge. The second primary advantage is that this creates a much safer work environment for both the motorists and the contractor's crew, since the work is mostly away from moving traffic. In the case of this project, the detour routes are relatively short, and the advantages of closing the roads outweighs the delays for the detour traffic. And with that, I'll hand it back to John.
Thank you, Don. The anticipated project schedule and construction cost. The anticipated start of construction is spring of 2028. The end of construction is the summer of 2029. The construction cost is $30 million, which is 80% federal funds and 20% state funds. Work will be done at zero cost to the town of Enfield. The project schedule and costs are preliminary and subject to change. Before moving on into the question and answer portion, please see the information on this slide. Questions will be received by email and voicemail after tonight's meeting. Please reference project number 48-202 in your email or voice message. The comment period will be open until November 20, 2025, and project information presented on the slide can also be found in the Zoom chat. Thank you. Are there any questions that any attendees would like to ask? Well, thanks for attending this meeting. Have a good evening.